Hello everyone and welcome to Moro News. This is an opportunity to remember a great king who left his mark on the kingdom's contemporary history and international diplomacy thanks to his genius, his vision and unparalleled personality. I invite you to discover 5 facts only few knew about the late King Hassan II. King Hassan, the first foreign monarch to patent an invention in the United States. King Hassan was always interested in medical science. He was also a lawyer who sponsored several international medical conferences in Rabat. However, his greatest achievement was the invention of a system that combined videotape and an electrocardiogram to study heart function. The device improved the ability of doctors to study heart behavior while a person exercises. King Hassan received U.S. patent, becoming the first foreign monarch to patent an invention in the United States of America. In a statement to local media, a spokesman for the Patent and Trademark Office said the invention was the first patented by a king, adding that Abraham Lincoln patented an invention for riverboats before he became president. Most people expected King Hassan II to stay in power for a very short time. Observers expected Moulay Hassan to fail as he ascended the throne on Feb. 26, 1961. Most people doubted that King Hassan II would manage to unite the country after his father Muhammad V, who died in 1961. Particularly when he was a young prince. The Western press often dubbed him as a playboy who liked gambling and actresses and was overly concerned with his wardrobe. Jokingly to King Juan Carlos of Spain, King Hassan II said that most people did not expect him to stay in the power more than 6 months. However, King Hassan surprised all those who underestimated him and ruled Morocco for 38 years. Moroccans believe King Hassan enjoyed baraka. Moroccans like to say King Hassan enjoyed a special baraka, a mystical protective karma peculiar to some, thought to come from Allah, as he has a direct descendant from Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The people believed this to the fact that he seemed to always emerge from difficulties unscathed. A master at managing Morocco's complex quilt of ethnic and ideological forces. He maintained a hold on power that was by turns iron-fisted and deftly off-hand. Interestingly, his baraka was mostly presumed in his escapes from a number of attempts to overthrow him, some of them particularly bloody. On July 10, 1971, seaside at Skirat Palace, about 2,000 commanded soldiers seeking to set up a military regime attacked his 42nd birthday party. At least 100 guests were killed in the firing. During the attack, King Hassan hid within the palace. When the firing died down, he re-emerged to find himself face to face with the leader of the rebel troops. It's been said that King Hassan II intimidated the leader by looking him in the eye and reciting the first verse of the Quran. Another time on August 16, 1972, the king was returning from Paris aboard his private Boeing 727 when it encountered an unscheduled escort of 4 Royal Moroccan Air Force F-5 fighters. As the Boeing approached Rabat's airport, the fighters fired on the plane, knocking out an engine and scoring other hits. King Hassan, himself a pilot, seized the radio and shouted, "Stop firing. The tyrant is dead," fooling the rebels into breaking off their attack. Then, back at the airport, he emerged and ordered the coup leaders arrested. In death as in life, King Hassan was able to bring together old foes to find common ground. During his life, King Hassan acted as a go-between Egyptian-Israeli efforts to make peace and to prolong the life of his 300-year-old dynasty in the midst of an era when monarchies in Libya, Egypt, Iraq, and Iran fell to socialist revolutions or the force of militant Islam. In Chad 1984, he aided negotiations between France and Libya. Furthermore, he presided over the Al-Quds Committee for the Settlement of the Status of Jerusalem. He discussed this during his visit to the Vatican in 1980 and during that of Pope John Paul II in Morocco in 1985. The late king continued bringing enemies together into common ground. Even after his death, King Hassan II's funeral brought together Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak and President Ezer Weizmann along with leaders from Arab nations, pointing trust that King Hassan II's son, now King Mohammed VI, would follow his lead as peacemaker. Among the Arab rivals were King Abdullah of Jordan, Palestinian Authority Chairman Yasser Arafat and Algerian President Abdelaziz Bouteflika. Reports suggested that Israel's Barak was expected to meet with Syrian President Hafez Assad while in Rabat to discuss peace in the Middle East. But Assad opted to stay in Damascus. However, Ehud Barak had a brief exchange with President Abdelaziz Bouteflika of Algeria. Barak told Bouteflika of his determination to find peace for the region. To which Bouteflika replied, "If there's anything I can do to help, let me know." King Hassan was a father for Moroccans. Upon King Hassan's death after ruling Morocco for 38 years, many Moroccans felt that they had lost a father. His funeral was an emotional affair for Moroccans, who held him in high regard. It was reported that over 1 million Moroccans walked dusty roads from distant villages to find prime spots along the 3-kilometer route of the funeral procession. More than 2 million citizens were carrying pictures of the dead monarch, weeping, chanting and praying for him, while some fainted and were taken by ambulance. The majority of young adults grew up in the last years of his reign. King Hassan II primarily represents their childhood and adolescence. Moroccans were fascinated with their king's charisma and showmanship. King Hassan loved making speeches and holding press conferences. Today, the internet is full of videos of King Hassan II. Most of them depict a king at the peak of his power, mastering interviews and confident in his speeches. Internet users who leave comments are generally touched by his authority, which they seem to miss. I remember a spontaneous response made by a young 36-year-old woman when asked why she missed King Hassan II. The young woman replied, "I love him. He was the one that suited our Morocco." She also recalled foreign interviews when King Hassan had shown his ability to give quick comebacks. She knew by heart and quoted some famous responses of the deceased king.